Hi, I'm Crystal. As a child, I was always nurturing and naturally loved dolls. When I became an adult and discovered reborn dolls, my little family started to grow. There's Haley, Landon, Avery, Chloe, Shiloh, Grace, Jamie, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, and Savannah. Along with collecting, I have been a reborn artist since 2008. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it's a lot of fun.
Hey guys, it's Saturday night and I just finished editing video from yesterday when I went to the American Girl boutique at the Yorkdale Mall. It was so much fun, and it was so nice to watch the video back. It was such a fun experience for me. I've only been to one American Girl store in the U.S., and that was at the Mall of America. And it was when I was visiting my friend Nicole for a week, and we made a day trip to the Mall of America, and we didn't even know that they had an American Girl store there. We just stumbled upon it, and we were just like going crazy in there. And so I've always wanted to go to one again since then, but of course they don't even carry the dolls here in Canada. Well, that was until this past spring. They opened up a couple of small boutiques in various Indigo bookstores. And so of course it's nowhere near, the big stores in the U.S. The ones in the U.S. have all of the American Girl stuff, all of the lines, all of the clothes, accessories, everything. They're a big store that they have the hair salon styling station, but they also have like a cafe where you can go and have lunch or, a snack or whatever. And then they have like little chairs that attach to the table that you can put your American Girl in. It's so cute. Like, it's so much fun. But, just the fact that they've now, at least brought some of the dolls and some of their things here is awesome. Like I said, in the video, you saw that it was like pretty small. But I was surprised at the amount of stuff that they had in there for such a small space. And it's funny, like, I didn't put the dots together on this one. Because if you remember me mentioning in my video that Margaret's family, or her parents and her, for Christmas, they gave me that tea set, but they also gave me I believe it was a $25 gift card for Indigo bookstores. And so at the time, I wasn't even thinking that the American Girl boutique is in an Indigo bookstore at this mall. It never crossed my mind. And in fact, like, I really, at that time, wasn't even thinking about going there. Like, I had wanted to go to the grand opening of it in the spring, and I just never made it out there because it's kind of far for me to travel there by subway and bus and all that stuff. And also, like, driving there is kind of a nightmare because it's such a big mall that draws a lot of people, and so it's always, like, busy and crazy to find parking and stuff. And so, like, I just kept putting it off. And so really the thought never kind of crossed my mind until, I started seeing people on the American Girl pages I'm on Facebook, talking about the release of the new Girl of the Year, Grace. And I got the catalog in the mail, showing Grace. And I was thinking, oh, like, it would be so fun to go to a launch. And then I was like, it just popped into my head. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're doing anything at the boutique here in Toronto for the launch. Now, I know, like, in the U.S., they actually did it on January the 1st, like first thing in the morning, January 1st. But of course here, all of our stores are closed on January 1st. So I was like, I don't know if they're going to do anything. So I called ahead of time. I called on New Year's Eve, and they said, well, we're not really having like a party or an event or anything, but we are opening early at 8 a.m. for the launch. And I was like, okay, because I was hearing that, you know, they usually give out something free at the door when it's the launch. And but he didn't mention anything about that. So I didn't think I wasn't 100% sure that I'd be getting anything for free, but I was like, I'm going to go check it out, see if I can get something for free. And I've been wanting to see the boutique for so long, I might as well go and check it out and, you know, see some of the dolls in person, and, you know, it'll just be a fun day. So I had to get up really early. So as you can see, I was kind of tired in the video, but it was worth it. Anyways, so they were grouping people. So like when I arrived there, I was given a ticket that said group 2 because it's such a small boutique. They only wanted to allow a certain amount of people at a time so it didn't get overcrowded, which was good because even with the amount of people they let in, I found it a little crazy in there. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that when I got my Indigo gift card, I was like, what am I going to use this for? Because now I have an e-reader, and I wasn't thinking about buying any books. So like I said, I went and got Wreck This Journal, but then ended up having to return that because my mother-in-law gave it to me for Christmas. I did get the little skirt for Alfie, which was cute. And, you know, then I ended up with the Robert Munch book, which is great. And when I went to check out at the American Girl Boutique, that's when it dawned on me that because they are in Indigo, they're not actually separate from Indigo. They are part of Indigo bookstores now over here. And so I probably could have used, I could have used my Indigo gift card at the American Girl store to get $25 worth of American Girl stuff. But it never crossed my mind until I got there, because when I went to check out, they asked me for my Plum Rewards card, which is the bookstore reward card here. And I was like, that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, the American Girl thing is asking me for my rewards card, so they are part of Indigo. And then it hit me. I was like, I could have used my gift card. So anyways, future note to self, if I get any gift cards for Indigo, I know what to use it for. So anyways, the cool part was that it turned out I had $5 on my Plum card. So I got $5 off. And then because I spent so much, I ended up getting over like 1,700 points from purchasing the doll and everything. So when I went back after to get the doll stand, she's like, do you have a Plum Rewards card? I'm like, yes. And I hand it to her, and she's like, oh, you have $5 to redeem. And I'm thinking, I already redeemed $5, but okay. And I was like, all right. And I got $5 off. And so that's when it dawned on me, like, oh my God, I got enough points from my first purchase to get $5 off again. So that was kind of cool. But so that was just kind of something that I forgot to share with you guys. And also, another thing I forgot to mention was, as I was waiting in the lineup, I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, it's all these mothers with their little girls. And I was like the only adult standing in line. And I was like, oh my gosh, I started to feel a little bit weird. And I was like, okay, people are like wondering, like, why is she here by herself? And then, of course, you know, I pulled out my Julie because I wanted to get the free apron. And so I'm waiting in line with Julie, and I'm vlogging and talking to a camera. And I was like, yeah, I was getting some strange looks. And so I was starting to feel a little self-conscious, and I was like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? Right? Because, you know, like American Girl, it's not like Reborns. Like, Reborns are American Girls are collectibles too, but like Reborns, you know, they're more like for the adult collector because they're handmade and they're art pieces and stuff like that. But like American Girl is like kind of more of a kid thing, I guess. But I was like, I still really like them because they didn't have them around when I was a kid, and it's like, you know, it's never too late to, you know, have fun with like childlike things and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I'm going to, you know, then I looked ahead and I saw actually some people go into the store that were also older people, and they were totally by themselves. They didn't have any children with them. So then I was like, oh, I feel better. So I was telling Alex about that, and he was like, he's like, you know what, like, he's like, you shouldn't care what they think, because he's like, as long as it makes you happy and you enjoy it, who cares? So I thought that was nice. And then another thing was afterwards, after I paid for Grace and everything, right beside in the bookstore, they have Starbucks. And so I was like, oh, I just had to sit down because my arms were so tired and I was boiling hot, and it was just, I just had to sit down and my mouth was so dry. I needed something to drink. So I got a drink and I sat down and just relaxed a bit. And I saw this little girl, and I didn't catch the whole gist of what was happening, but my sense was that I heard this little girl like squeal with delight, and I look over and I see her mom and her older brother was sitting beside her, and her grandmother, I think, was there with them. And it looked as though the brother and the mom surprised her with Grace, because it didn't seem like, you know, a reaction of someone who knew that they just walked out of the store with Grace. It was more like like a surprise. So she was freaking out. She was hugging her brother and her mom on each side of her. Her grandmother's snapping pictures. It was the cutest thing. She was just ecstatic. She was freaking out. They came over and sat at the table beside me, and she was opening all of her stuff. And her big brother was so sweet. Like, he looked to be about, I don't know, I'm going to guess and say maybe 14, 15. And she looked to be about, I'm going to say maybe 7, 8 maybe. And he was like just as excited like to watch her open the doll, and he was like, oh, look at that on her, and look at this. Like, he was so supportive, and like it was so nice to see that, like, between siblings. It was just so cute. It was like, oh, it was like so touching. And so then the last thing that I forgot to fill you guys in on was I did end up going to see Annie. And when I went to pay for my ticket, I found out that I had enough points on my movie card to get a free movie ticket. So that was exciting. It was like, yay, I get a free movie ticket. And I am so glad that the movie ticket was free, because not that the movie wasn't good for what it was. Like, I did enjoy it to a certain extent, but to me, it just totally ruined the original Annie, the classic Annie, with Carol Burnett, with Tim Curry, with Bernadette Peters, that whole cast. You just can't duplicate that. You can't replicate it. And oh my gosh, they ruined so many of the classic songs from that movie. Like, they remixed them. They cut out songs entirely and replaced them with new songs that were horrible. They took some of the original, and they would kind of keep the chorus part of the song, or like parts of the song that were very familiar, but then they would change words to other parts, and even the melody of the song they would change. Like, I'd say that there was It's a Hard Knock Life was like changed quite a bit. They cut out a lot of it. And they changed some of the words because in this movie, they're not in an orphanage, they're foster kids. So instead of saying like when you're in an orphanage, it was like when you're a foster kid and all this stuff. But the two songs that really upset me a lot, actually three songs that really upset me a lot, was I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here, Little Girls, and Easy Street. Oh my gosh, it was just awful. I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here. They basically only kept the melody and the words of I think I'm gonna like it here. Like that part. That's the only part they kept. And everything else was a totally different melody, totally different words. It was almost rapped, I think. Basically, it was bizarre. And then Little Girls, Cameron Diaz ruined that. I'm sorry. I usually love Cameron Diaz in movies, but I did not like her in this one. And she ruined the song Little Girls because, again, they pretty much kept the part of like, little girls, everywhere I turn, I see them. Like, they kept that part and they kept that tune. But then all the rest of the song, they changed the tune, they changed the words. It was horrible. And then Easy Street, again, they kept the chorus of Easy Street, Easy Street. Like, they kept that. But then, again, the verses, they changed all of the verses. It was a totally different tune, totally different words. And oh, that was just so sad for me because in the original movie, when Carol Burnett, Bernadette Peters, and Tim Curry do Easy Street, they kill that song. And it is amazing. It is classic. It's, and I was so mad. I was like, what are they doing? It was just, it was awful. It was just awful. But I mean, I guess like for little girls now, like that have never seen the original Annie, they probably would like it. And I can say that like, if I didn't know the original Annie, like if I had never seen it, I would probably have liked this as a musical. But because like growing up, I watched Annie like a million times and I know that movie front to back. I know it word for word. I used to be able to sing that entire musical from beginning to end. Like I know it inside and out, and I know that like I can picture what's happening when I hear the song like in the movie. Like I know it like the back of my hand. And so for me, it just ruined it. Like it was so, I mean, it killed time. It was still fun and entertaining, but I basically had to keep trying to put the original Annie out of my head and just try to take it as like a totally separate movie. But it was really hard to do because I just love the classics so much. So yeah, but it was good because as soon as I got out, I went and got my doll stand, and then Alex actually got out of work early and was able to pick me up at the mall, which was good because my arms were tired like from carrying everything. And I can't imagine, like, the mall was so big. Before the movie, I actually tried to walk around the mall and like see what was there and try and like, I don't know, look around in some stores to kill time before the movie. But I literally only got like not even halfway down one hallway of the mall and I was done. I was like boiling. I was tired and I just ended up sitting on a bench until the movie came. So it was just, I can't imagine trying to even navigate through that mall where you would have to go to get to the actual like thing that leads to the subway station. Like, I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that. But Yeah, the mall is a lot bigger than I thought, and they're actually building an expansion to the mall now. Like, they're gonna make it even bigger. So it's like, oh, it's gonna be crazy. I kind of hope that they'll eventually end up opening more American Girl boutiques at some other Indigo stores around Toronto, so that it'll make it a little bit easier to get to one. But yeah, it was a nice day like, like even though I was tired and hot and the movie wasn't that great, I actually still had a really good time because I got a free movie ticket and I got the free apron at the door, and I got to get Grace, and I got to see all, everything in person. I got to experience the doll salon, which I never got to do before, and just see the excitement of all the other girls there was fun. And, when I came home, after I did my video, I literally spent like 2 hours like changing some of the, was it changing them? No, I didn't change them, but I just basically spent like 2 hours like playing with their hair and, like fixing Julie's hair and, getting Grace out of the box and fixing her all up because their hair is always kind of messy when it comes out of the net and stuff. And I literally killed 2 hours. I don't even know where the 2 hours went. I was just playing with the dolls and I wasn't thinking about anything else. It was like kind of like meditative and it was relaxing and it was nice. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of wrap that up because there was a couple things I forgot to mention in that video. And I think I'm going to end this video with some other pictures that I took while I was there, because I noticed that some of the time when I was filming, I was kind of going fast. So I don't know if you guys really got to see everything clearly. So I took pictures as well. So I will put those in a little slideshow at the end of this video for you guys so you can see them a little bit better. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Click subscribe if you are new, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hey guys, it's Friday and we are here for the launch of the new American Girl Doll of the Year, Grace. Julie's gonna get her hair did. There she is. This is too funny.